Hi everyone, it's me Anna. Welcome to today's video. Today we're going to T-rank all the books I've read in 2026. A couple of months ago I said I'd like to film a book tech video about the first half of 2026, but I've decided to T-rank all these books first, and I might film a book tech video at the end of this year. So I read 22 books so far this year. 2026 has been a good reading year, a very good reading year. There have been some disappointing reads, obviously, but there have also been some immaculate books, perfect reads. So yeah, let's jump straight in. So we have 5 categories here, and the very first category at the top of our list is called mind-blowing. Books that just blew me away, books that impacted me, my new all-time favorite books. Next we have loved it category that is going to include very good books. Books that I loved. They weren't that special to be in the mind-blowing category, but they were really good. Next we have enjoyed it. Yeah, books that I enjoyed. I didn't love them, but I liked them. Overall, I just enjoyed them. They were okay. Next, we have books that didn't really work for me. So this category will probably include books that I didn't hate. I kind of like them at points, but I didn't enjoy them all the way through. And at the very bottom of our list, we have absolutely not books that I just really disliked and they weren't for me at all. The first book on here is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. Did I read it this year? Wow. In February or March, I think March or February, I don't remember, but it seems like it was such a long time ago. Well, I guess I want to put it in enjoyed it maybe, or loved it. No, I think enjoyed it. Ninth House was a little bit confusing. There was so much going on, and it wasn't boring overall. I don't think I was bored at any point while reading this book, but it was just a lot. It was really hard for me to keep track of all the things going on. Also, like the overall mood of the book, the vibe wasn't what I expected, so enjoyed it. Okay, I liked the book. Wasn't perfect by any means, but I liked it. Hellbent is the sequel to Ninth House, and I really loved this book. It was just super fast-paced, super entertaining. That was a very good read. Next we have Vicious. Vicious didn't really live up to my expectations. It's not that I had very high expectations though, because before reading Vicious, I'd read one book by V. Schwab, I think. Yeah, Barrier Bones and the Midnight Soil. And I didn't love it. I was like a little bit familiar with her writing style already. I didn't have like crazy expectations going into Vicious, but still I heard so many good things about Vicious. Still, yeah, I had some expectations going in and it didn't live up to them, unfortunately. So should I put it and enjoyed it though? Or didn't really work for me? You know what? I think I'm still gonna put it and enjoyed it because I did enjoy it in a way. If I say that the book didn't really work for me, I can't really pinpoint it. Like why it didn't work for me. I was just a bit bored overall. It's not that it didn't work for me at all because it's fantasy and I kind of like that book, honestly. I didn't hate it at all. You know what? Maybe enjoyed it. I don't know, we'll think about it. Oh my gosh, this is taking such a long time. The Night Circus. Absolutely not, or didn't really work for me. I'm gonna say absolutely not because while I like the vibes, I liked this very atmospheric setting, right? The circus. I liked the writing too, but it was so incredibly boring that I barely finished this book, to be honest. I considered DNFing it so many times. I could say that it didn't really work for me because it was just boring, but I liked the vibes and stuff. But on the other hand, I'm thinking I almost hated this book, kind of, because yeah, I was just so bored. It was so hard to get through. So probably absolutely not. Blood Over Bright Haven, though, was an immaculate read. Mind-blowing, 100%. I loved everything about this book. The magic, the setting, the characters, their relationship, the ending. I loved everything about this book. So yeah, Blood Over Bright Haven is definitely one of the best books of 2026. My Husband's Wife is our next read. A thriller. I read it recently. I don't know, I'm on the fence about this one. I kind of enjoyed it, but it also didn't really work for me. I enjoyed it, and I think overall it was a really fun experience. However, a lot of things didn't make sense. Even I noticed them. As someone who doesn't read many thrillers, what do I mean by didn't really work for me? I enjoyed it. I like the ending. It's on the same level as Vicious, probably. So I don't know about these two. Should I just put them in didn't really work for me or enjoyed it? They were way worse though than Ninth House. Next we have Break Room. I don't know what I think about this book. Break Room was a very quick read for me because it is just a short book. It's some kind of a thriller, like it has, you know, that feeling. It's basically about office co-workers, and we just watch them participate in this reality show as they carry out different tasks and hide some secrets from each other and then discover those secrets, that type of thing, I guess. So it was a fine read. It wasn't a bad book by any means. It was just a fine book. Will there be at least one book in didn't really work for me? We might change something by the end of this video. Skip Shock was a 5-star, but I don't think it was quite mind-blowing. You know what I mean? It was a 5-star, it was a perfect read, and I think this book, this duology, because yeah, I think it's going to be a duology, is really underrated. I don't see anyone talking about this book. It was a 5-star, but it wasn't life-changing, you know what I mean? However, I think it was better than Hellbent. The Poet Empress, a Chinese-inspired fantasy about a girl who gets the opportunity to become a concubine to this very cruel prince and help her family, her people who have been suffering from poverty. I liked it. Didn't love the climax of the book. The plot went in such an unexpected direction. I enjoyed it. I did love some parts of this book. I don't know. Yeah, maybe just enjoyed it. Then The Stand by Stephen King. I'm gonna put it in loved it. I feel bad about not ranking it higher because the themes this book explores are so good, and the character development is crazy. Like the characters in this book, oh my goodness. But I'm gonna put it in loved it. Maybe before Hellbent though. Okay, you know what? Doesn't matter which book is better or worse in one, you know, the same category. There's no competition between books that are in the same category. Even if The Stand goes after Hellbent in this category, right? Loved it. Doesn't mean it was worse than Hellbent. Harbour, Wonderland, and the End of the World, mind-blowing. I've already talked so much about this book. In a nutshell, it's just a perfect blend of realism and surrealism with a touch of sci-fi. Pet Cemetery, I loved. Yes, I loved that book. Loved the ending, the family dynamics, everything was great. The Poppy War, loved it. Especially the first half of this book, I was obsessed with it. We Hunt the Flame, absolutely not. Just no, no. I do own the sequel, but I don't know if I'll ever get to it because this book was such a drag, and I only finished it because I owned the next book. If I didn't, I would have never. The City and Its Uncertain Walls by Haruki Murakami. Okay, we finally have our first book that didn't really work for me because I don't want to say absolutely not. I actually really loved the ending and the overall just setting, I guess. This book is part of this book, I guess. is set in the same world that we explore in Hardboiled Wonderland and the End of the World. Maybe I shouldn't just compare them, but you know, even if I stop comparing them, Hardboiled Wonderland and the End of the World is still way better. It's no match. So The City and its Uncertain Walls, too slow-paced, which is normal in Haruki Murakami books, actually. In terms of, I guess, pacing, this book definitely shouldn't be compared to Hardboiled Wonderland and the End of the World, because Hardboiled Wonderland and the End of the World is quite fast-paced. Some other Haruki Murakami books are quite slow-paced, but they are still good. A lot of his books, I think, are not very fast-paced, and that's okay. They can still captivate you. But in The City and its Uncertain Walls, nothing really held my attention. So didn't really work for me. Finally, Bubble is gonna go to either enjoyed it or didn't really work for me. I loved the ending, the magic system, the message was really well delivered, but I didn't really care about the characters. I felt like I wasn't with them all that time. I felt like I was just like watching from afar. I wasn't very invested in the politics. Maybe didn't really work for me. Even though I rated it higher than Vicious, higher than My Husband's Wife, and Break Room, or maybe I enjoyed it because like the magic system was so cool. It's about languages and I love anything related to languages. So we'll see. Anxious People didn't really work for me. The characters were so annoying and there was just too much drama for me that I wasn't invested in. A War of Wyverns, the sequel to A Language of Dragons, loved it. It was so fun, emotional, full of plot twists. This is another historical fantasy about dragons and languages. The Tommyknockers, I'm gonna put it in loved it or enjoyed it or loved it. If I'm gonna be completely honest, I think the Tommyknockers could have been shorter. And I think some parts felt a little dragged out. But I loved the idea and I loved how Stephen King executed it. Okay, I think he pulled it off. I'm gonna say loved it. Yeah, I think it's actually underrated. Even though like I rated it 4.2, it deserves to be in this category. Next we have The Dragon Republic, the sequel to The Poppy War. And loved it or enjoyed it. It was very addictive, but I caught myself thinking that I wasn't really feeling for the characters, like I wasn't really attached to them. It was very addictive plot-wise, but I think some parts were a little slow-paced. The Tommyknockers I rated 4.2 and the Dragon Republic 4.5, I think. But I just loved the idea in the Tommyknockers. And the Dragon Republic was good. Maybe enjoyed it. Yeah. If You Could See the Sun didn't really work for me. A high school romance slash magical realism, and I thought I was gonna love it because of that magical realism aspect, but it actually didn't help at all. I wasn't worried about our characters at all. I was like, yeah, they're gonna be fine, you know? I don't care how, when, why, but they're gonna be fine. Dune, loved it or enjoyed it? I'm gonna say enjoyed it, to be honest. It was good. This is what our tier ranking list looks like. Do I want to change anything though? Vicious didn't really work for me. No, for example, I rated Bubble 3.75, but I put it in didn't really work for me instead of enjoyed it. Vicious, I gave it 3.5, I think, 3.5, and My Husband's Wife is like 3.2 or 3.5, something like that. Break Room was like 3 stars probably, but just because it wasn't like anything special, it was just a fine book. Okay, speaking of Bubble specifically, I enjoyed some aspects. I just didn't like the plot progression, the characters. So that's why. Just so you know, Vicious and My Husband's Wife, might look better and didn't really work for me. But we're gonna leave them in the enjoyed it category because I just don't know. I just don't know which one is the right one. Anyways, I think it's time to wrap it up. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know how many books you've read so far in 2026, and I will see you in the next video.